What's going on, people? What's going on? Welcome to Legends Talk, where we bring you the remarkable journeys of sports icons. In this episode tonight, we delve into the inspiring story of Quinn Cook, a basketball prodigy who defied the odds to make a name for himself in the NBA. From his standout high school career at DeMatha and Oak Hill to his championship triumphs, Cook's resilience and his dedication has left a mark on the basketball world. Join us as we unravel Cook's path to success, including his time at Duke University and his journey from being undrafted to becoming an NBA champion twice. Get ready for an unforgettable conversation as Quinn Cook shares his invaluable insights and experiences only on Legends Talk. Where else? I appreciate everybody for tapping in. We live. Legends Talk. Yo, what's up, my boy?
Going on? What's up, my guy?
I'm chilling, man. I appreciate you, man, first and foremost, taking the time out, man, to chop it up with me. Much appreciated, man. True legend.
Thanks for having me, man.
Nah, no doubt, man. No doubt, man. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get right into it, man. For the people, been asking for this one, so here we are, man. I appreciate it. But for the people that don't know, where you from and how did you first get introduced to the game of basketball, man? If we got, what I'm saying, rewinding all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, I'm from PG County, Maryland. Right outside of DC. Was born in DC. Lived in DC my first 4 years of living. I moved to PG County, Maryland. And my parents owned a sports bar. So my earliest memories of sports was just me being a baby, a toddler, in a sports bar. And then as I kind of started to walk and run, I became like the sports bar's mascot. I mean, like all the familiar customers, want to play. Like my dad had a Fisher Price hoop in there for me. Like the customers are like play one on one with me, let me dunk on them, stuff like that. So, and then like I was born in '93, so like I remember like vividly like Michael Jordan '97 playing, the Jazz in the finals, and '98, his whole run. Like I remember his entire run playing Charlotte first and playing New Jersey and playing Indiana. Like I remember being mad when Reggie pushed Mike coming off the screen to beat him in the playoffs, one of those games, then winning game 7, and obviously, the historic series they had with the Jazz, but like 4 or 5, like I remember it vividly. And then ever since then, like I was chasing a dream to make the NBA.
Man, and you know what I'm saying? It's every kid's, what I'm saying, every kid that watches those games from an early age, man, has those dreams of one day becoming an NBA player and one day being on that big stage, man. So we gonna tap into a little bit about in terms of you actually making it, man. But for anybody that's out there that doesn't know, the DMV area, what I'm saying, that whole area is such has such a rich history, man. Guys like Steve Francis came out of there, Mike Beasley, of course Kevin Durant, Ty Lawson, Nolan Smith, and so many other guys that kind of paved the way, what I'm saying, for younger guys. But for you, man, who was the best player out of the DMV that never made it to the league?
That's a great question. You have so many guys. You got Calvin Cage, who one of the best guards I ever saw. You got guys like Austin Freeman, who was a McDonald's All-American in 2007, which probably arguably one of the best classes ever. Went to DeMatha, won national championship. You got guys like Trouble Smith, Greg Jones, like more on the street ball side area. You got Baby Shaq. You know, I was obsessed with Baby Shaq because he was on and one. You know what I'm saying? And he was from
Right,
DC.
right.
So I was obsessed with him. And you know, rest in peace to the late great, you know, SpongeBob. You know,
SpongeBob, R.I.P.
he was an incredible basketball player, not just street ball, but like, you know, I grew up watching him play 5-on-5 and run and shoot, and just, you know, there's so many guys, man, who didn't get the opportunities that others got. You know, a lot of making the NBA, you gotta obviously you're blessed, you work hard, but you gotta be a little lucky, man. Like one thing can injuries can happen, you know, real life can happen. You know, family stuff can happen where you can't go to college and you gotta take care, you know, of the fam. So um I was just appreciative just to be around, you know, such great tradition and you know, just absorb, you know, all the basketball, you know, not just knowledge, but just, you know, basketball's a lifestyle here like it is in New York. So
Nah, right, right, man. And early on, I mean, you say you mentioned, you know what I'm saying, the legendary run that Mike, you know, Jordan had, and you kind of watching that and having that dream of one day, you know, being an NBA player. But was there any other players or maybe even other players that you know, from the area that you tried to kind of emulate, man? You know, who was that for you?
yeah, obviously Steve Francis, like we grew up in a time where I mean, like and one was everything. And one was like, you know, I looked at hot sauce just as big as a Allen Iverson or a Kobe or like so like I would just practice, you know, my crossover, my hands up, my sham guy, everything, right? Just having that, you know, street ball mentality, handles wise. And you know, Skip to my Lou was one of the guys that kind of was like, oh wow, you know, and one player, street ball players could actually play in the league, but you know, Moochie Norris and Steve Francis, you know, they just not even knowing that they was from here. Just I just fell in love with their games. Like those
Right.
Houston, they just had the ball on a yo-yo. Um, you know, their hands up. Like I know DC, PG, we claim the hands up. Like they had the hands up. Like they had the best hands up in the league. Like they just sold, you know, the shot. They just big right to left crosses, big Tim Hardaway's. They just had fake half spins. They had everything, just like AI had. But I really looked at those two, like Steve Francis and Moochie. So I really try to emulate them. But from another standpoint, Jared Jack was always the guy like who, you know, I saw myself wanting to be, you know, just a true professional. You know, starting in the league. But you know, he can come off the bench and provide instant offense or, you know, provide just stability off the bench. And he had you know, a double-digit career in the league and just respected from everybody. Obviously, he's now coaching, but he was a guy I was always just like, man, like he's not the most athletic, he's not the fastest, he's not the, you know, strongest, but you know, he got it done. And that's how I was, like how I am. Just I'm not the most athletic, obviously, I'm not the tallest, but you know, I can get it done. So Jared Jack was a guy I kind of, you know, wanted to emulate, you know, on the court as well.
Nah, no doubt, man. Jared Jack, he went to Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I remember him. He had a stint with the Knicks.
Yes.
And yeah, he's definitely a great dude, man. But you started your high school career, man, at DeMatha,
Yep.
which is one of the country's, you know what I'm saying, most legendary programs, right?
Yep.
Um, and on that team with you had Victor Oladipo, Jeremy Grant, and others, man. But what was it like playing at the Mather, and how did your experience there kind of mold you into the player that you kind of became down the road?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, we 10 minutes in, but um, I- if you can't tell, like I was just this big basketball fan, like just obsessed with it, like lived and breathed it, fell asleep with the ball in my hand. My entire room was, you know, cut out, you know, pictures from Slam magazine and, you know, just um, a basketball heaven, like a basketball, like just everything. So obviously, as you get older, you know, you start to know more about, you know, the knowledge and the traditions and, you know, everything went back to DeMatha. Like just, you know, we had the best coach of all time, arguably. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, Morgan Wooten. He was coaching at the time, you know, when I was a child. So, you know, they got the most attention. And my dad would take me to games, knowing how much I love ball, and I just always wanted to play there. And then back then, like I don't know if they still do it now, but when you go to high school games, at halftime, they let like anybody like come on the court and shoot. So like I was like obsessed. Like I would treat like me going to the DeMatha game like it was my own game. I would just wait for halftime, and it'd be like maybe like 14 kids on the court, and like I was always the smallest. But the ball would just end up finding me. Sometimes the older kids would just give me the ball just because I was small, and I get into my crossovers and step backs. I was advanced for my age, and obviously the crowd always fell in love with it, and so I just became obsessed with going to the DeMatha. And then obviously the coach who was there, Mike Jones, we formed a relationship. And when I was in the fifth grade, he started recruiting me in the fifth grade, and my middle school was literally a 5-minute walk from DeMatha, so it was kind of destined. And I decided to go there because I wanted to win championships. I wanted to play on the biggest stage, and we had an amazing team. We had a great team. We won some championships, and it was a great 3 years for me.
Hey man, that's tough, man. Yeah, that's that's one of the programs for anybody that kind of is a basketball junkie like yourself knows that DeMatha is one of those programs. So definitely salute to that school and that program, and just kind of going there, man, and being a part of that that rich tradition there. That's epic, man. But early on, anybody that follows basketball knows that you and Kevin Durant have a history, right? You guys kind of played on the same AAU team, even though he was a little bit older and he played on the older squad.
Yep.
But can you tell me about how you guys developed that bond that kind of that you guys kind of grew into, and what kind of player was KD early on?
Yeah. Yeah. Me and K, I met K when I was 7 years old. He was 12, 13. I was 12. And yeah, like I said, we played on the same AU team, PG Jaguars. He was on the older team. I was on the younger team. So obviously, we would practice first, they would practice next. My head coach was their assistant coach, and their head coach was our assistant coach. So the synergy, I always felt like we was on the same team. And he was just always a good person, like a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not really much in common between a 12 and a 7-year-old, but the only thing we had in common at the time was the basketball. And he was nice to all of us. And he was the best on his team, but like he wasn't like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like if I saw him at 12, he was going to the league or going to be
Right.
us today. Obviously, we're not even thinking like that, but he was just always a good dude, and he always had a liking to me because I would watch like if we practiced at 5, they would practice at 6 or 6:30. Like my mom or my dad, they would come get me at like 7. Like, or if my coach couldn't take me home, I'll tell them just to come later because I wanted to watch them practice. And I just think all the older guys had a liking to that because I was just a gym rat. Like I would warm up and stretch with the team and just, like I felt like their mascot again. You know what I'm saying? I was just smallest, but I just fell in love with it. Just being around great players. And me and Kay just always had a bond. And then obviously, forming a bond with his family, his dad, his mom, his brother, and him forming a bond with my mom, my dad, my sister. So it was just this big family. And he just always was there for me. Like he always was there for me, obviously. He took a big step. Like he was always super skilled. Like he could always shoot, could dribble for a guy his size, but he put the work in. He was always the guy getting up shots. There's infamous stories of his mom making him run like hills, and his coaches. He had coaches just take home to him, and he just got better and better. But every time I seen him, like there was a week or a year or months, like he would just get better and better. And I seen him his 9th grade year, and I just knew like, man, he's different. Like he's different than other guys around here. And then obviously, he is who he is today. But it's like it's not surprising just because he always had the tools. He just always had the work ethic as well. So when you put the tools and the work together, I mean, you get obviously greatness. And obviously, he's one of the greatest ever. So it was a pleasure just to say like seen him the whole way. I seen his whole career. I'm still watching to this day. So it was definitely dope growing up with K.
Nah, that's fire, man. Being so young, and watching, your guy, what I'm saying, grow into greatness, man, and vice versa. That's fire, man.
Yep.
But you speak of at DeMatha, you guys won those championships and whatnot, and you ended up going to Oak Hill. After 3 years of DeMatha, you kind of moved on
Yep.
to Oak Hill Academy, which is another, one of the most legendary programs in the country.
Yep.
Tell me about that experience for you, man, and who were some of the guys that you kind of went there with, or that kind of shared that experience with you.
Yeah, like I said, just being a fan, knowing what Oak Hill was. I first, seen Oak Hill, when LeBron had his like his major TV game his senior year against Oak Hill. And just doing research, you find out, Jerry Stackhouse went there, Rod Strickland went there, Melo had graduated the year before, Stephen Jackson, Jeff McGinnis, Steve Blake, all these guys prior to that 2002, 2003 season. So obviously, you fall in love with it. And I was always a big fan of the McDonald's All American game. Like I always made it like a point to like get my VHS and get the little blank VHS and record it on. We had like a VCR where we could, tape it. And then my dad, we upgraded. We got satellite. We had like the Direct TV. So I would always like make sure like that was a highlight of my year. And every year, the McDonald's on American game had somebody from Oak Hill, one or maybe two people. So, just being like, a basketball junkie, you understand like, Oak Hill is the school. And, my older brother, Nolan Smith, he ended up going there for 2 years. Him, Mike Bees went for one, but Katie went there as well the year before that too. K and Top One. So you like, what the? And this is really a basketball factory. So obviously, like, you want to get good, to where Steve Smith wants you to play there, right? So, I remember going to Nolan's graduation his senior year. I used to go up there and, with Nolan's mom, his sister, and like pick him up. And like, so I'll shoot around the gym and just see all the greatness. I remember Brandon Jennings, obviously, he was the best player, his class. He used to come back to PG County with us. So like I'm in the 7th grade, like damn, with Brandon Jennings, like it's crazy. Like, so I just fell in love. Like I wanted to go there. And they wanted me to Coach Smith wanted me to come there my junior year, but I wasn't ready. And I just felt like, I just wanted to do more in the city. Like I wanted to finish at DeMatha. I had an unbelievable bond with my coaches at DeMatha, especially my head coach. And just kind of wanted to finish, the job there. But my senior year, my junior year, I mean, I won every award possible. I broke records. We won another championship. And then the guys I came in with, Victor, Jaron Grant, they were graduating. So it was kind of like I had really nothing else to prove there. Like if I came back my senior year, like I just would have repeated everything, God willing, like I would have repeated everything that I did my junior year. So kind of wanted a new challenge. In the city, like, they obviously, love basketball. So I was like a little like celebrity here. So just, I was all over the place. And then my mom being a single mom, it was a lot, because my dad passed my freshman year. So it was just a lot. And I just needed to kind of get away, refocus. He used to leaving from home, living on my own and stuff like that. So I thought Oak Hill was the best move. And then obviously Coach Jones at DeMatha, he gave me his blessing. And, I got to play for, another one of the greatest coaches ever, Coach Smith.
No, that's tough, man. And before we go any further, man, I wanted to send my love and respect to your dad. You know what I'm saying? You lost your dad at a very pivotal time period in your life, man. So salute to him, man, and God bless his soul, man.
Appreciate that.
But no doubt, man. You had mentioned the McDonald's All American game, and that being like a game that was kind of larger than life for you, right? Like just kind of thinking about it and seeing all of the guys that kind of go and move on to that, and play in that game.
Yeah.
But and you had the opportunity to actually be selected as a McDonald's All American.
Yep.
Like, who are some of the guys in that class with you? And do you have any memorable moments from your experience making it to the McDonald game?
Yeah. Yeah. Getting selected, that was the goal. Like I didn't, think that I played with Team USA in high school. I didn't think that I would win Player of the Year and win these championships and stuff like that. I mean, that was the goal, but um, the ultimate goal for me was like being a McDonald's All American. So when Coach Smith gave me the news, I was in class. He took me out of class and gave me the news. I remember just being like, "This is like this." That was like my first goal. Like growing up, like yeah, I mean, I didn't have like DeMatha and Oak Hill, like everything that I did, DC Assault, like yeah, like that. If I did right, I could go there, but I fell in love with that McDonald's game. Like that McDonald's game was everything for me. Like 2002 at the Garden, it was Carmelo, it was Chris Bosh, it was Amari Stoudemire, it was JJ Redick, it was Sean Docker, it was just all these guys, and I was clicking through the channels, and I just saw it. I'm like, what is this? I didn't know, but I just seen it was at the Garden, and then I just fell in love with it. I didn't miss one from '02 to the game. I was in 11, so it was just something that I always wanted, and the whole experience, just it was me, myself, Brad Beal, Austin Rivers, AD, Mike Gilchrist, James McAdoo. It was a lot of guys, Cody Zeller, and yeah, I remember I was in Chicago. We had the biggest crowd to that point. I don't know what the record is now, but we had the record. It was sold out in Chicago United Center, and I just remember how much trash, the East and the West teams was talking. Like you got to think, we grew up playing AAU, we grew up going to camp together. We grow up, a lot of us, we're on the USA team together. So, it's fun trash talking. Like we're best friends off the court, brothers off the court. But I just remember how competitive like our class was. Like if one side won a shooting competition, that whole night in that hotel bus, anything game room, like we talking crazy, like fun competition. But I just remember how competitive the practices were, and the West, like on paper, they were supposed to, be better than us, but we kicked their ass in the game. We talking crazy to them, but it was all love. But I just remember how laser focused we were, and the playing of those lights, was something I'll never forget.
Man, that must have been an unbelievable moment for you, man. You mentioned all of these guys, dating back to your start, right? You mentioned all of these guys that 95% of these guys are going to the league, and making it big time and going to big Division I schools and things of that nature. When did it start getting real for you, man? In terms of my dream of making it to the league, it's kind of happening. It's happening, and everybody around you is kind of happening for them as well. But when did it start getting real for you in terms of the dream kind of
Yeah.
getting real?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100. I say my freshman year of high school. Just being at DeMatha, like every practice, like we had, obviously we were good, but they were just coming off of one of the best teams ever with the Austin Freeman, Nigel Munson. They won a national championship in '06. And they obviously DeMatha has always been that, but they had won 3 championships in a row, and we got there. And we were young. We had Josh Shelby. He was #1 player in the country as well on our team. So like every day, like pickup games, we were having Billy Donovan, Bill Self, Thad Matta, Roy Williams, like every day. Gary Williams, like every Rick Pitino. I mean, every coach was in there every single day. And then, my freshman year, going out for varsity, like I ain't know, like I just like my dad. One thing about my dad, like we ain't run from competition. Like I remember getting recruited by other schools like man, because they knew like I was going to DeMatha. But other schools gotta, work their move, they gotta shoot their shot.
Right, right.
And, a player that I was obsessed with was Chris Wright. He played at Georgetown, but at St. John's, he might have had one of the best high school careers, ever. Not just in this area, but in all,
Right.
the country. And he was a small guard like me, same size, but he averaged 30 his senior year. He was in that 07 class as well, McDonald's All-American class too. But like my when I would have been a freshman, he was leaving. So like I kind of would have been like the next Chris Wright. That's what everybody was dubbing me. But my dad was just like, man, look, I want you to go to DeMatha. I want you to, play against the best players in the city, every single day. I don't care if you play your first 2 years, like you get to practice against the best players in the country every single day. So I ran to it. So to answer your question, like I ain't think I would start I ain't know if I would play, but I ran to the competition. I was ready for it, and we had a game, our second game of the season in Kentucky, a Marshall County Hoop Fest. They still do it to this day. Every big school goes there. But we was at the game, and coming off the bench, I went crazy. Like I don't remember how many points I had. I went crazy. Then I started to start, and then next week we had a holiday tournament, and we played against John Wall in Raleigh. We had a little tournament, and they beat us at the buzzer. But like, I'm in the trenches. Like I'm guarding John. Like, what I'm saying, I'm hitting shots, and I get all tournament team. Me and Josh get all tournament team. I'm a freshman, and then after that, like like Duke started recruiting me. They offered me, like I just was getting recruited by all these colleges, and then NBA scouts start coming to our AAU stuff and our camps, and that's when I was like, bro, I'm kind of right here. Like I'm
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Once I started seeing them scouts coming, I'm like, they weren't coming to our high school stuff, obviously, but our stuff in the summer. When I started doing Team USA and when I did Steve Nash camp and stuff like that, scouts are there, and I'm just like, all right, I'm close. I'm close.
I'm here now. Right. But you said they Duke offered you this was your sophomore year or your freshman year?
Freshman year.
Freshman year. Wow, that's incredible, man. You know what I'm saying, being such a historic program, were you just trying to go for the biggest and best school? Because everybody know Duke is one of those those blue blood
Yeah.
kind of schools that there's only a couple of schools that kind of fall in that realm of being one of those great schools. So what I'm saying, were you trying to just go for the biggest and the best, or were you just were you set on Duke in terms of trying to attend that legendary program?
Yeah, great question. Like I said, my brother went there, Nolan went there, and I kind of followed everything he kind of did. So that was the dream. But I also took my recruitment seriously to where I just wasn't going because of Nolan, or I just wasn't going because it was Coach K or Duke. Like I wanted to make the best business decision for me.
Right.
And I took every college serious. I took every phone call. I opened every letter. Like Coach Jones will tell you, like he used to get mad at me. Me and one of my teammates, Mikhail Hopkins, he ended up playing at Georgetown, one of the best bigs in Europe right now. Like as the older you get, when we got to your freshman, sophomore year, like you appreciate the letter. Like we had like piles. So like Josh Shelby had his pile. His pile would be crazy. Jaron Grant's had a nice, pile of letters. Victor's was kind of, small. Like it was me, Vic, Mikhail. We kind of all had like the same kind of before the season. And me and Mikhail would open up every letter. And then like Mikhail became, top 40 in the country, top 30. I became top 15, top 10. And obviously the letters, built up. But me and Mikhail were like, literally, like we would open up everybody. We was just like kids in the candy store. But like I took it serious. But everybody thought I was going to Duke because of Nolan. But like it came down to Duke, Carolina, UCLA, Kansas, and UConn. Like obviously all the blue bloods. So like I really wasn't, just trying to go to the biggest school. But I saw the progression that Nolan took, and he had at Duke. I saw how Coach K coached him on the floor, but more off the floor. And I just wanted to make the best business decision, for life after basketball. I saw how much, The alumni was a part of the program, and I just saw, what they were doing, like life after basketball. So, not saying guys at those other schools, because obviously those schools are just as successful, but it was just something about Duke that I just fell in love with, and I decided to go there.
Absolutely, man. Well, you spoke about the college letters, getting the letters and putting them in the piles, right? Do
Yeah,
you remember that first letter that came? And do you remember who it was from?
yep. It was Quinnipiac.
Tough,
Yep.
tough.
Yep. It was Quinnipiac. I got that like on a Thursday, and then I got Georgetown on that Friday, and like those two, I had them on my wall, and this was like after like my third game, and obviously when I got first team at that tournament in North Carolina, it started to. I was getting every school, but Quinnipiac and Georgetown was my first two. When I got into high school, when they saw me like play pickup. So
Nothing like that first handwritten letter.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
But what I'm saying, and, again, man, Coach K, what I'm saying, you can't go wrong. One of the most, storied coaches, you know, in basketball history on the college on the college level.
Yep.
What kind of coach is Coach K, man? And obviously everybody see him from the outside looking in, but you had the inside scoop on seeing him every day and working with him and things like that. So, what kind of coach was he, and how did he kind of prepare you for the transition, to the professional level?
Yeah, he was great. He was. I know it sounds cliche, but he's everything that you wanted in the coach. He held you accountable. Obviously getting recruited by all these schools. The salesmen. Recruiters are salesmen, coaches are salesmen, so they're
Right,
going to
right.
sell you on their school, sell you on their product, right? They're going to tell you what you want to hear, and not necessarily what you need to hear at times, right? And obviously, I was getting promised this, that. You're going to start right away. You're going to want it done. I'm going to give you the ball, whatever, whatever. But coach was like, man, look, you're talented. That's already understood. You're a winner. You're a leader. That's already understood. But only thing I'm gonna promise you is I'm gonna coach you hard, as hard as I can for the next 4 years. I'm gonna have you as prepared as anybody else. And I committed in 2010 and 2024, 14 years later. Like I can honestly say, like he coached us like it was a national championship. Every single practice, every single shoot around, every single walkthrough, every single game, and he continues to be your coach when you leave. Not saying I know coaches who aren't like that, especially the NBA is a different. Like there's some coaches I play for, like I haven't, just yeah, but it's a revolving door, and I get it. But coach, man, coach doesn't miss a birthday. Like small things like anniversary of my dad's, death. He sends me a text. My dad's birthday was last week. Coach sends me a text. Father's Day, he sends me a text. Christmas, just and like it's just authentic, and you know, he just gets you prepared. Like he's going to prepare harder for the games when we play, the lower teams than the North Carolinas or the Kansases, because everybody's going to be up for that game, right? But just to see that kind of like preparation was something that I'm like, wow, this is why he's the greatest coach of all time, because he prepares the right way. So that was amazing that I got to see that for every day for 4 years.
Man, when you guys mention the brotherhood,
Yeah,
you guys mean the brotherhood. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And obviously, you didn't get to play with a Kyrie Irving, right?
yeah,
Um, and he was a one and done type of player. But did you ever get to kind of interact with him at all?
yeah.
And what was that like, man? Basketball or otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he was one of the main guys recruiting me. Obviously, Nolan never recruited me because I was always with him. Like anytime I got like any break from high school, I would go up, and stay with Nolan. So I was like a little brother. I mean, I am his little brother, but he never like, like, yo, bro, I need you to come here. Like
Oh,
he
right.
kind of stayed out the way. I would call him and ask him about other schools and stuff and just situations, and he would give me, his 2 cents because obviously he had been through the recruitment process. But me and Kyle got real close my freshman year. He was a sophomore, and we're exactly a year apart. We have the same birthday. He's just 1 year older than me.
Oh,
So we young, like me, him, Kendall Marshall, Tobias Harris. Like we would be on Skype, like after school all evening, all night, like just being kids, right? So we were really, really close. And then, when he, went to the league and I got to Duke, that was the lockout year. So, that entire summer and that first, semester before he had to go to training camp, beginning of December, he was on campus going to class. He was playing pickup. Well, he wasn't playing pickup with us because he still was getting back, but he was doing skill work with us, working out, lifting. So, yeah, man, like my first, semester in college, like Kyle was there. Like Kyle was with us, every single day.
right.
We were extremely close, still close to this day. And yeah, man, just to see his work ethic and just I was coming off an injury. So and he was, getting off an injury as well. So we were doing rehab every day. So like literally like that whole semester, that first semester, I was with him literally all day. So just to see his preparation, just to see how he is. He's a basketball savant too. He's obsessed with, the game as well. So man, it was dope to being around him. And obviously, seeing his career, nobody's surprised because he puts the work in.
Nah, definitely, man. Great dude, man. And just trying to get an inside scoop on that brotherhood, man, that you guys got going on, man. But kind of fast forward a bit, man. You had a great college career. And leading up to the 2015 NBA draft, man, you went undrafted,
Yeah.
which was probably a little bit of a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Now, what was your mentality after that, man? Like, you obviously use that as fuel, and motivation. But did you ever feel like your dream might not happen?
Yeah. Nah, I didn't. I never felt like that. The politics, like, and I feel like I've earned it, but like, since high school, like, go playing at DeMatha, playing for DC Assault, playing for Oak Hill. There's no three bigger programs than that, right? And like I dominated and killed at each street. Then like, going to Duke, obviously figuring out my freshman year, but after that, like I dominated the ACC. Like I felt like I dominated college.
Right.
So like the politics, I always felt like the politics was on my side. So during that whole draft process, like I just felt like slighted, like just because I was older. At that period of time, like the league was drafting the Russell Westbrooks. You had to guard Russ. You had to guard, Derrick Rose. Like so, they loved the athletic point guard.
Right,
So
right.
the athletic point guards was going high, going high, going high. So, but like I had a great, prep for the draft. I had a great combine, and then the workouts, like, there's a couple guys I ain't gonna say no names, but like they got drafted first round, a couple lottery picks, and a lot of first round picks. Like I caught them, at these workouts 1-on-1, 2-on-2s. Like that's my that's what I grew up on. That's what I do. So I seen some guys, and I get it. Like it's guys, I'm supposed to be in a workout with these guys, but they ain't coming no more because they ain't trying to mess their stock up, and that's the game. But
Right.
so I just knew I was getting drafted. I knew I'm cool. I know I'm getting drafted, but at that time there was big on like draft and stash. So like, boom, if I'm the Spurs, Cal, I'm gonna draft you, but I'm gonna send you to our D League team for the year. You can't come to training camp. You can't get called up by any other team. A couple teams was sending guys overseas, like, man, we're gonna send you to Australia for the year, blah blah blah. And that was an agreement that you had to do to get drafted. So after like the 46th pick, like I had like 7 teams, want to draft and stash me, but I told them, I wanted to better myself. I wanted to pick my situation and compete for a roster spot. So knowing like my agent was like, look, we doing this. So now, like you can have this, this 30 seconds of you getting drafted. You could always say, I was drafted the 49th pick in 2015, whatever. But boom, I was just thinking the long run. And it ended up panning out. But Like it was just more motivation at that time to answer the question. Like I never was like, I'm not gonna make the league. It was just, all right, cool. I'm disappointed. I cried in the car. I remember KD called me, bro, you gonna be here. Time to keep your head up. Boom. He called me later that night. He was like, okay, see, just called again. Because there was a team that wanted to draft me as well. They was like the main team. It was either them or the Clippers, but they wanted to do the draft and stash. So K was like, man, look, play summer league with us. Like, I'm here. He had broke his foot that year, so he was doing rehab there. He's like, I'm gonna be here. You can stay at the crib. So I ended up going to summer league with OKC, and I killed, and the rest was history.
Nah, that's tough, man. That's motivating, man. That you kind of bet on yourself, man. And this goes out to any youngster, that's like may be in that predicament, man. And bet on yourself, the same way that you did, man. So salute to you for that.
Thank you.
Because it's hard, man, not putting in all of that work,
Yeah.
and you wanna get your name called, man. But what was your agent kind of like, telling you, hey, relax, calm down. These 7 teams right here, they're still, they're still on the radar, and after the fact that you can still be a pro. Did they kind of reiterate that to you, or I mean, you could be in your own feelings like, yo, I don't care about none of that. I want to hear my name called.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I always, when I go into situations, I always, prepare for the worst. I try to go not and saying like I prepare myself for every predicament. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, so I know how to react because I don't want to. I hate reacting off of emotion, right?
Right, right.
Like I said, like, and it's crazy. It's crazy how everything worked because I didn't think I was gonna get drafted. Like, and then I started like the last 2-3 weeks, like my workouts picked up, and like mock drafts don't matter. Like I honestly believe they're not. They don't matter. Me being in the league, asking personnel, asking front office, like, yo, y'all be looking at the mock drafts and stuff like that. Like they have scouts that they have so many scouts and they have so much data. They don't look at the mock drafts. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
literally me and you right now. We can make a website tomorrow called Legends Talk draft.com, and we
Right.
can just watch. We could just go on somebody's page and just, you know what I'm saying. So like, but I'm saying that to say, like, I was like late second round, like the entire season, and then after the season, and I was an All-American my senior year. Like I was killing it. We won a championship. Like I had a great tournament run. So I'm like, I gotta at least be high second, late first, something. But boom. So going into it, like the last 2-3 weeks, I was still like, sometimes I was on some mock boards, I was undrafted, some I was like 54. But that last week and in the day of the draft, they last one. This the final 2015 mock draft. Boom. One, I was like 26, right? The other one, I was like 28. And he's like the 2 main ones. So I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting drafted tonight. So my mom wanted to do something for me, like, like let's invite some people over. And I kind of was just like, nah, I wanted it intimate. But when I see the mock draft, I'm like, man, mom, you can invite some people over, you know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like it was weird. Like I was happy for it to see, like, not just my college teammates, but guys who I grew up, playing against my whole life, see their dream get called. But obviously, me being happy for them was kind of deflecting, like, yo, bro, like, what we doing? And then my agent, like, I remember texting my agent, like, because like I'm thinking going first round now. I obviously from the mock draft, but my agent never gave me that confidence the day of, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know. So the mock draft just ended, and I remember I hit him. I'm like, yo, like, I said something, whatever. And I had went upstairs. Me and Nolan had went upstairs in my mom's apartment because I just kind of was starting to get stressed, and people asking me questions and stuff. I didn't want to start.
Right.
I remember I texted my agent. I'm like, yo, like, I remember what I said, and he was like, man, it's crazy. Montrez Harrell ain't get picked in the first round. I'm like, why are you texting me about Trez? Like, what you? What's the intel you got on me? You know what I'm saying? I was pissed. I was mad about that. When they got like to 44, 45, that's when he first called me about the first drafted stash. And then after the third one, I just was like, we're probably not going to do it. Like, you know, I'm probably not going to do it. Like, there's no ideal situation from here. I'm looking at the teams left. Like in these next 14 picks, there's no ideal situation that's going to make me draft a stash. So, you know, he already had it. So when the team started calling, he was already, nah, we're not going to do it. And then I remember that night, he was giving me different teams to, you know, what summer league opportunities, because this was before two ways. You know, after the draft now, like you see guys already signing two ways and stuff. So big thing now at that time was if you didn't get drafted, is who you playing summer league with. And then I remember the next morning, like I said, you know, Kay called me, and the rest was history. But me and my agent were on the same page later that night. So.
No, that's tough though, man. Like you said, man, it's weird, man. You know, do I invite people over? You know what I'm saying? And then getting the questions, and you don't want to answer no questions at that time, but it is what it is, man. And it, you know, it went how it went, and obviously, you know, the story ended up on a positive note for you. But you know, for the sake of time, right? We're gonna fast forward to your time with Golden State, man. I mean, obviously you went to you did, you know, some great things in the D League and things like that, but with the Golden State Warriors, man, when you know when it was time to perform on the big stage, you know, during that championship winning seasons that they was having, you know, how did playing alongside of players like Steph Curry and you know, obviously reuniting with your brother Kevin Durant, how did that, you know, kind of influence your growth as a player, man? Like,
No, it was great. It was great. Obviously, like I always, you know, followed K wherever he went. That was my favorite team. So when he got to Golden State, you know, I was rooting for them that next year. But also, like, um, you know, I was in the league as well. So I was in New Orleans and just playing against that team like that year, like
right,
just incredible. But obviously, before they got there, I mean, they already, you know, had won a championship and they lost to Brown in 2016. So like, you know, they were the standard for the league, you know, ever since I've been a pro. So I've just been a fan, like growing up, you know, like I said, watching every McDonald's game. I remember seeing Sean Livingston in 2004, and just he was this freak athlete, you know, at his size, you know what I'm saying? I remember, you know, watching Iguodala, Iggy playing Philly, and then transforming his game in Denver, and then transforming his game again, you know, to Golden State and him winning the gold medal, like D West in Indiana. So like obviously the stars is stars. Like I had a relationship with Steph already because obviously I played with his brother Seth at Duke.
Right.
It was always dope, you know, especially in lockout. He would come out, we would watch him work out. I mean, he'd come to all our games. Didn't have a relationship with Clay, just competed against him my rookie year. And you know, when I went out to for the playoffs with K, and he was always, you know, super nice to me. And I had a relationship with Draymond. We played each other in college. He's a basketball head, so he knows everything. I remember just seeing him like in traffic, and he's always showing me love. So, you know, I had a relationship with those guys, but you know, they up your game. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to kind of get out of like starstruck mode and get into like, nah, you here for a reason. Like, you feel me? You about to have a lot of opportunity. You know, because obviously those guys get double, get trapped. You know, you're gonna be the fifth option out there at times. So just be aggressive. And I struggled with that, especially when Steph went down. I struggled with kind of just being aggressive. I was like so eager to get Clay a shot and get K a shot. You know, get Draymond, you know, playmaking and stuff. But you know, I remember Steve, you know, he had a conversation with me before, you know, we played the Lakers one night. He's like, look, Quinn, I need you to be Quinn. I need you to be the Quinn you were in New Orleans. You know, those guys gonna get their shot. The ball's always gonna find the best players. I need you to be aggressive. That's gonna help them. Then I just went on this run. Steph comes back. I still was in the rotation. We end up winning the chip next year. Obviously, you know, K gets hurt. We lose in the finals. But, you know, the best 2 years of basketball for me, just because I was living my dream at the biggest stage, at the highest level, playing at Duke, DeMatha. Oak Hill got me prepared for, you know, playing at that stage. And, you know, we got everybody's best shot every game. And I had some unbelievable moments, some great memories, and I created, a bond with those guys. I still talk to those guys, often. I root for those guys, and it was a dream come true for sure.
Yeah, when Steph went down, and it was your turn. It was your time to step up, man. You had some magical some stretches in
Yeah,
March, I believe. 28 points, 30 points. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So nobody, what I'm saying, I don't want nobody to get it twisted. Like you was just out there running around. You
yeah.
was out there putting in work, man. And what I'm saying, definitely salute to you. You earned everything that what I'm saying, that you did and that you got out there. But
Appreciate
I got a quick question for you, man. Like in terms of that team, right? Like like Steph Curry gets so much slack, right? He get a lot of slack because when KD came in, it almost looked you know like KD kind of took over. You know what I'm saying? Took over, and it was KD's team now, or what I'm saying. A lot of people were saying that, right? But you were in the locker room, man. So in that locker room, like whose team was it, man? Was it still what who was the leader of that team in terms of pulling the troops together and just kind of being vocal, and was it Steph, or was it indeed Kevin Durant?
Yeah, that's a great question. Um, I think K was the best player. I think he was our best player, but I still think it was Steph's team. He had previously won two MVPs. He had already won a championship, and K came in, saying Steph, it's your team. You know what I'm saying? Like we go how you go, and we did go how Steph went. Um, there's something about when Steph hits a three, Clay too. When those two hit threes in Oracle, not even just Oracle, when we just get something from that. And that's the culture that they created. But let's not get it twisted. When we needed a bucket, when we needed a shot, this stuff started hitting the fan
Right, right.
on 35. But I thought it was just Steph's team because he had already been there. And they both were willing. Like they both were willing, it's your night. No, it's your night. And they said they struggled with that the year before, in 2017, with just they would defer too much. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like that's how Brown was, in Miami.
Right.
As they lost that first one because he was too nice. But yeah, man, I think it was Steph's. If I had to say whose team it was, I just would say Steph, just because he had been there, he had created the foundation, he had got the Warriors to where they were to even get Kevin to come there. So it was definitely Steph's team, but K was the best player.
Tough, man. Yeah, yeah. Some people, I got a couple of friends that they asked me to ask you that one. Like, yo, he's in the locker room with those guys. So whose team really? Whose team was it really?
The
So
answer this though, the vets like D West, Zaza, um, Sean, Andre, they kept the team because like that team was like even my next year there when we got DeMarcus, Steve Kerr was like, man, look, I played with you know the second three-peat Bulls with Dennis, and obviously they made Last Dance, what I'm saying, from that
right,
team.
right.
Obviously playing with the Spurs, and then him coaching the Warriors, like just being around all that basketball greatness. Him being a GM of the Suns before, he had been around so much basketball. That second year when we got DeMarcus, he said that was the most closely scrutinized and criticized team he's ever been around. So I'm
Mm,
saying that to say like our vets kept the team. They don't. I still to this day, even though like Sean is retired and Icky's retired and D West is retired, Zaza's retired, like all of those guys. Some guys are on other teams. Um, the vets kept it together just because so much that Draymond, Kevin, Clay, and Steph had to go through. Just it was a cohesive unit, a great unit, and they don't. I don't think the vets get the credit they deserve, and I don't think Steve gets the credit he deserves. So
right, right. So kind of like following the game. I know that Golden State kind of dropped the ball in terms of bringing you back, right?
yeah,
But you fell into a great a great position by going from Golden State now going to Los Angeles to the Lakers. Another crazy situation where you went from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond to now LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
Tell me about that, man. LeBron being one of the greatest players, in the history of basketball, as well as Steph Curry. But going from Golden State to LA now, tell me what that transition was like, and you know, what was your mindset like, leading into playing with the Lakers?
Yeah, great question. I just always wanted to be a part of greatness, wanted to be around greatness, championship aspirations. So obviously going from Golden State to the Lakers, the Lakers. I don't care if whoever's on the team, and just being a Laker fan growing up, like the Lakers, they want to win, no matter who's on the team. Um, and then you add Braun to that. That's another. Yeah, if Braun's on the team, you got championship aspirations, and then obviously we made the trade for AD. So, it was definitely championship or bust, and I wanted to be a part of that. Playing with Braun my rookie year in Cleveland, being with them, he was a big brother to me. So I had that relationship. He was a part of me signing there. Obviously, me and AD being close from high school, Team USA, and then playing in New Orleans together. He was a part of my recruitment process as well. And obviously going through what I went through during my signing, my free agency with Golden State, I kind of was just like, man, like I gotta win another championship. Like I want to win another championship, and it all made sense. And it was like my draft night. Like I said, I didn't get drafted, but that was the first night. Besides like Golden State wanted me. After that, like I was pursued by a lot of teams. Like I'm always like, my agent, we gotta make this, and I gotta go
Right.
keep here. You know what I'm saying? As an undrafted guy, and then as a guy on a 10-day, guy on a non-guaranteed, like you constantly got to prove yourself, right? But it only takes one team to fall in love with you. It only takes, one team to say yes. And after Golden State, that's why, like, even after it ended, how it ended, I would never speak bad, about them because they gave me, my golden opportunity in the league. Even though, like, it didn't end the way I wanted it to, whatever, but, they gave me that shot. But, I was getting 10, 12 calls from head coaches and GMs. I'm like, dang, like I'm on the other side now. Like this is dope. Yeah, like I wanted to, be a part of it.
Back then they didn't want me. Now how they all on me?
Cool, and it was cool, but it's crazy. Like I wanted to get it done. I was on day 3 of free agency. Like I wanted to get it done. We got it done in hours. I remember my agent, man, he couldn't get. Like I remember Rob called me. Rob Pelinka called me first. I'm getting calls from every coach. But I remember Rob, he calls me. Braun calls me. AD calls me. So I'm like, man, I think I want to go to the Lakers. Like it's my dad's favorite team. It's my team growing up. Like it makes sense. We could win a championship. Like I ended up getting the most money that year coming off the bench besides KCP. And obviously he ended up starting at the end when Avery didn't come. But so I'm like one of the top guys, on the team, earning wise. So it's a match made in heaven. And I remember my agent, man, like I'm like, man, I want to go. Like, I want to go to Lakers. Like, let's get Rob on the phone. And my agent couldn't get him on the phone. Like my agent couldn't get, the GM on the phone to get it done. And I didn't want to wait no more because I'm a guy like, when I was in college, when I was in high school, like if I got off the phone with Georgetown, like I want to go to Georgetown. If St. John's calls me, like I want to go to St. John's. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I want to go to Lakers. Let's get it done. My agent couldn't get Rob on the phone. I'm like, bet. I call Coach K. I'm like, Coach, like, I want to go to Lakers. I can't. My agent can't get Rob on the phone. Like, can you call him? He's like, yeah, Rob and them just called me like 20 minutes ago. I call him right now. Coach K gets Rob on the phone. We get the deal done, and I'm a Laker. So it was like my draft day, telling my mom and sister. Telling my mom and sister, that I was signing there. Like I remember they started crying, screaming and stuff. So that was like my draft night for me. And, the next 2 years was great.
Now, did you have to make any adjustments to your game, in terms of, now you going to the Lakers? How did your role on the team kind of evolve under the leadership of LeBron and AD, man?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I was the backup. I was the premier backup for Golden State the year before that.
Right.
We went to the chip, should have won. It was the best team in the league. Whatever. But I had a great year that year. So I was going into it, and then they invested in me, right? So I'm definitely thinking like, cool, I'm gonna be the backup, whatever. I didn't know Rondo would sign back. He ended up signing back, and I didn't know Rondo and Frank Vogel had this great, relationship. But it's cool, like, cool. I'll back up Rondo. I get like I said, like I'm obsessed with basketball. I get to learn from Rondo every day. I get to, play against him every day. They signed Jason Kidd that year as the head assistant. Like, bro, I'm working out like my pregame like workouts. Like my coach was Jason Kidd.
Right.
It's crazy, right? But
Win-win.
exactly. But this is the first year that Bron came out and said he wanted to be a point guard, right? So now I'm the third string. So you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you want to play PG now, bro? Like, come on. I was best for the team. But yeah, man, my role is just like, Rondo was hurt, at the beginning of the season. So I think he had like a hurt. I don't even remember. But no, I had a great, first couple games. But Vogel was a guy, he wanted, older guys to, get in there. We had a championship, caliber team. So, I was the odd man out, play when Bron and Rondo would rest. If he was trying to shake up the lineup, I'll play. But my role on that team was just, be the best locker room guy. I had that relationship, with Bron and AD. So like coaches, if they felt like, how Bron feeling it, like they would come to me and stuff. Like I would, you know what I'm saying? So like, I was just a locker room guy. Like me and Dudley, like we're kind of like, I was a younger version of Dudley, and Dudley was the older version of me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The team, just like we knew the pulse of the team. We knew everything. Like even when we got to the bubble, like, it was us four, like literally all day, every day. So like even though like I wasn't playing, like I had that like to my advantage, like to where like, like I'm watching film, I'm watching the games with Bron like every day. Like Bron's coming to me like in the middle of the first quarter. What you see? Like
Right. Hey, man, that experience alone right there is
I'm a competitor. Like I was sick in the bubble. Like I wanted to leave the bubble so bad because I wasn't playing, right? But like that's what kept me there. Like obviously my guys, my team, like,
right.
the team.
The camaraderie, right.
Ron and AD like that every day, bro. Like I just feeling special. Like Palenka coming to me, like, is he okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, go talk to him. Go ask him. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? They knew like I was, I had those guys' ear in a positive way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those guys respected me. And it felt good winning the championship, knowing like, hey, you didn't contribute the way you wanted to on the floor, but you contributed off the floor as much as anybody. And I remember like Coach K used to always say that, like when Beyonce would get ready for a concert, you just see Beyonce, you see her backup dancers, you see, her DJ, but you don't see the crew who built the stage. You don't see the guy behind the lights, follow her around. Like she got to the lights people got to be just as on point as the Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? So like I had that in my head, like, bro, you're just as important as anybody. So and that motivated me to go even harder. Like that next, like as soon as we won the championship, I left the bubble. My girl picked me up from the airport. She took me straight to the gym. Like that was one of my best summers because like I've never like not played before. That was my first time like really not playing. So but like I said, 20 years from now, like
that's fire.
My ring don't say you played this amount of minutes. It say Quinn. So like I'll take it.
Right. Now, of course, man. You said it perfectly. 20 years, 30 years from now, man, them books ain't gonna say, oh, you know what I'm saying? And they valued you, man. They valued your opinion. They valued you as a teammate. And just to do the handshake with LeBron, man.
It's lit, like I said, it was Michael Jordan, Kobe. I got them right there. But like I said, like growing up, like obviously four walls in the room, right? So my wall behind me, it was all Mike, all
Right.
Mike, all cut up stuff, Mike. To the right of me was Kobe. So when I turned over in the morning, I'm seeing all Kobe, like on my wall right here. In front of me, that wall was LeBron. Like that wall was LeBron. And then to the left was obviously like I had a lot of AI, a lot of Steve Francis, but a mixture of everybody. Jason Williams, T Mac, Vince Carter, everybody. But like LeBron was my guy. LeBron's the guy that I seen his entire career and obviously still seeing. So to have that relationship with him, being a freshman at Duke, him coming back was a lockout. Him coming back and having that relationship with Coach, like he knew how much I loved him, so he would always like go out his way to show me love. Him knowing like him being from Cleveland, I mean him being from Akron, my father being from Canton, like them having like mutual people. So like he always had that. So he would always go out his way to, what's up, little bro? And then when I signed with Cleveland my rookie year, I was his rookie, he was his vet every trip. Come on, Quinn. What we doing? Like sitting on the plane with him. He would give me his per diem. Like we go on the road, like we'd get like $300 for per diem. He's throwing me his envelope, him, JR, Mo Williams. So like that's always been a big brother. And then obviously to win a championship, with your idol is, something that you dream of.
That's priceless, man. Priceless. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, even the sports shows and you know what I'm saying, they wanna, even the critics and stuff like that, they'll say, oh, there should be an asterisk on that championship. But for you, man, that was there, man. Like you were right there. Um what do you think about people saying that there should be an asterisk on that bubble championship?
Yeah.
And what do you think about that?
It's barbershop talk. Everybody has to have, something.
Everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, everybody's going to talk, going to say something about something, right? And like what Dame Lillard said, like that's the freshest like everybody was. Like there was no distractions. It was literally all basketball. Like guys scoring 50s, 40s. Like those games was intense. Obviously no travel, so you're playing. You get in a cold tub. You getting massages all day. Like you ain't doing that when you on the road. You ain't doing that when you at home. You got your routine. You got your family. You know what I'm saying? Like you got your boys. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was fresh. But on the other side, like there's nothing like going in somebody's building. Oh, not even just their building. Like as soon as like a playoff series, if you playing, like we would play Houston. We had some amazing, games with Houston when I was in Golden State. As soon as we would land in Houston, the dudes getting our bags and putting the bags on the bus. Your Hardy gonna kill y'all tomorrow. We going to dinner. It's man, like it's constant trash talking. That's from like we played the Raptors in the finals. Like every time we got to our hotel, it's 500 people outside. Bells, yelling, like they setting off fireworks at night. Like that's a real thing. So it's nothing like going in those hostile environments. And the bubble didn't have that. So like I get it from both ways, but
Right.
we all was there. We all was trying to win. Guys wasn't trying to lose. And then if you look at before we got in the bubble, who was the best team in the league? Before the NBA shut down, we just smacked Milwaukee, and then when we beat the Clippers, like back to back, who's the best team in the league? So, I mean, we can't be an asterisk because, like,
Right. Let them say what they want to say.
So, and then if you put an asterisk on that, you got to put an asterisk on Milwaukee's the next year because there was no fans until the last month of the season. You know what I'm saying? You try to win, but
that's what I was gonna ask.
there's nobody yelling at you, so there's gonna be an asterisk on ours. Got to be an asterisk on theirs. And I love Giannis. I love Drew. Those are my guys, but the energy got to be the same.
Nah, of course, man. And you know what I'm saying? We kind of passed the hour mark, man. So I definitely want to be respectful of your time. I just had a few more for you, man. Just like a little two more questions for you, but you know, this is more personal for you, man. Like obviously, there was other things that happened, in your career, with you going overseas and you scoring a bunch of points over there in China,
Yeah,
things like that. But looking back on your entire journey, man, like from high school to winning championships in the NBA,
yeah,
what advice would you give aspiring young basketball players aiming to reach the professional levels the same way that you did?
yeah. Great question. Um, it's a business, right? So try to remember why you play it when it becomes the business. Um, you know, you're going to get cut. I'm speaking to every basketball player that's going to see this. You're going to get cut from your team. You're going to miss the game winner. You're going to not play. You're going to be overlooked. Um, it all comes with it, right? But it's how you bounce back. It's not about the fall. It's about the bounce back. It's about how you get up. And as cliche as that sounds, it is. And everybody has to bounce back. Michael Jordan couldn't beat the Pistons. He had to figure it out. And he's the best player in the world. Kobe, won championships. Shaq leaves. He had to figure it out. Then he figured it out again. Bron, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you go down the list by every NBA player, every non-NBA player, there was some, pitfalls that they had to figure out. Um, have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? If you put the work in, remember why you start playing the game. But never like as you get older, like for my young guys that's in college and professional, like when you choose your representation, um, remember that they work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like be on point, ask every question. Like I was scared to ask questions. I was scared to, I felt like I was working for my agent early on. You know what I'm saying? Like ask them questions. Get on those calls with the GMs and find out what you got to do. And I want you to take your career into your own hands. Like everything I had to do, like, and this is no disrespect to my agent. I don't care if he sees this and takes. I don't care. Like I felt like I worked for him. Every deal that I got, I had to get it. It was me having that relationship with Kevin at first. It was me killing the D League, getting MVP, Rookie of the Year, to get opportunity with uh with New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to like go above and beyond. But I'm saying that to say I wasn't on top of my career like I should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just going forward, like I'm always on top of like, like because at the end of the day, they work for you. They get paid off you. They're not paying you. They're not your employer. You're their employer. No disrespect to, but I'm just saying like they get paid based off the deals that you get. So it's like, be a part of those conversations. Do your research. If you feel like you're an undrafted guy, like sign with somebody who has success with undrafted guys and has success with, what I'm saying? Don't sign with like, you're in meetings and stuff, like they're selling like these lottery picks they got, number one picks and stuff. Like, I ain't about to be no number one pick, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that it won't work, but like you got to do your homework, you got to do your research and just take your career into your own hands and, just keep the main thing. The main thing is a lot that comes with this stuff now. You can NIL, social media, it's so much, so many distractions. But if you keep the main thing, everything's going to take care of itself.
That's a straight gem right there, man. For everybody that may be aspiring to be in that position one day, man. And lastly, man, what I'm saying, this hour and 13 minutes, man, it felt like 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
what I'm saying, reflecting on your entire journey again, man, like, on your entire experience with, championship winning teams, elite teammates, the whole nine, right? Like what kind of personal and professional qualities do you believe are essential for, like, sustained success in the competitive world of professional basketball?
Yeah. Nobody's bigger than the game. Nobody's bigger than when Michael Jordan retired in 98, we still kept watching the league. You know what I'm saying? When Kobe retired in 2016, we still kept watching the league. Like nobody's bigger than the game, right? I've seen people, extend their career 4 or 5 years of just being a great teammate. being on time, not being on time, being early. You know what I'm saying? Staying late. You know, not playing 4 or 5 games in a row, but still practicing and preparing like as if you're gonna play 40 minutes and then being ready on that 7th game and 8th game. Really, I just seen the not. I'm not even talking about the elites, the superstars. I'm just talking about just the good guys, the pros, and
Right.
I just seen a difference in just professionalism. You know what I'm saying? Smile. Take them autographs and sign them autographs and take them pictures with them fans. Like, it goes like this. You know what I'm saying? When you 40, 50, people ain't gonna be asking you for your autograph, like they did. So appreciate it. We're gonna miss it. Like I'm telling you, like we're gonna miss it. We are going to miss it. And I just say network. You know what I'm saying? Like get outside yourself. Like even for me, like I'm 30 years old. I'm in my prime. Like, I feel good, but like I ain't played this year like yet because I have so much stuff I'm doing off the court. But I'm saying it to say I leveraged who I was. I leveraged my relationships. I leveraged my network to start doing stuff off the court. But I couldn't get that without basketball. But for them season ticket, people who cheer us on every night, like go speak to them. Hey, how you doing, man? Da, da, da. You might find out, oh, he owns, or oh man, let's get dinner. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like you just build that stuff for after basketball. Now you're a CEO of a streaming platform. You're a director. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much stuff you could do with it. So I just think the people skills that you could leverage with being a professional. Even not even just being a professional, even being a college or doing anything around the game, you could just leverage, yourself onto more and more things by just being a good person. So that's the one thing I just, always notice and always say, just like the good guys in the league, like I see why they're so successful, they're so blessed because they're just good people, man.
Right. Treat the guy that the guy that collects the garbage like the CEO, the same with the same respect.
I've seen it. Like I literally seen like I got Team USA on my hoodie. Me, Brad Beal, all of us, U16, U17. We went to Germany, then we went to Argentina. And the guy, who's literally collecting our laundry, washing our drawers, like washing our towels, like everything. He's the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers now.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And in 2009, he was washing our underwear. He was washing our socks. You know what I'm saying? For free. You know what I'm saying? 15 years later, he's the GM of the Cavaliers. So like you never know who people are. So just be cool. Don't do it just because you want something in return. Do it because you will want your mom treated that way. You will want your family members treated that way. You know what I'm saying? And just you never know how life will happen. You never know how life will turn, and you always want people to speak good about you.
Absolutely, man. And with that, man, you know what I'm saying? I want to say thank you.
Sir,
You know what I'm saying? You a true legend, man, in every sense of the word, man. You've been there, you've done that. You've been around, the best. You put in work with the best. And we truly salute you, man, for everything that you've been able to accomplish. You got you got some years to go. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, we support you fully in everything that you're about to do, man. So
thank you.
Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to chop it up with me.
Anytime.
I really appreciate it, man. And you know what I'm saying, probably not much I could do for you, man. But if you ever need anything from me on my end, feel free to reach out, man. But again, I truly appreciate this opportunity.
This was great. Anytime you need me back, man, anytime. Appreciate you, bro.
Much love, champ. Appreciate it.
Bro.
All right, bro. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Quinn Cook, man. Duke University, NBA, what the DeMatha championships. You know what I'm saying? Like the dude just emulates just greatness, man. He just, you know what I'm saying? Everything that my man been around kind of touched, turned to gold, man. So We truly appreciate his time. And next week, man, we're gonna be back with another banger, another edition of Legends Talk, man. Stay with us. Thank you for everybody out there that's tuned in and locked into what we're doing, man. We're going up and take this ride. Appreciate everybody.